No, 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 no. Do not adjust your sets. We are back and we are live. It is Tuesday, September 3rd, 2019. And thankfully, you've tuned into the show. Look, we have our first person into the show. How great is this? Now people are pouring in. Welcome back, everybody. I have missed you oh so very much. I've missed sitting here and actually talking to everyone. So thank you very much for joining us. Everyone hopping in. I do appreciate it. Let's go ahead and dive right in with what we've got going on here. First of all, the first thing I want to do is take time to thank all the people who took their own time to do the summer shorts series that we had on the website. I hope you guys were able to go in and watch those episodes, as I thought they were really fun. And it was really cool to kind of hear different people's perspectives about things and life and situations. So I want to thank everyone who took their time. Joe and Gabby did a summer short that was really fun. Let's see here. We had Chris and Ethan. They did one. They are actually starting their own podcast and have their pilot episode out, which is super cool. So I think the podcast bug got caught by that family. Then there was Katie and Ash. And then the last one we did was Katie and her friends. It was a ladies episode. So hopefully you guys have been able to tune in and see that one. Again, they're all on the website. So if you want to check them out, then by all means, go out there and check out the summer shorts. As again, they were really cool. There's 9 of them out there. And I just want to thank everyone who took their time to do it. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the show. And I will freely admit that I have been very nervous about this show, but we're going to see how it goes. And you guys know it's the first show of the year here, so I might be a little rusty. If I'm a little rusty, you can just bear with me a little bit, because this is kind of a big episode for me. So I'm kind of excited about it. So here's what we got going on. If you, oh, thank you, Joe. Joe's back. We're glad we're back on the air. I am too. If you might have noticed that there's a little bit of a change to the Facebook page. And there's a reason for that. If you were to go to our website right now, there's a big change on the website, and there's a reason for that. So what we're going to do is after tonight, there are going to be no more episodes of Walking with God with Kyle Walker. That's what's happening. This version of the show is going to come to a conclusion. What we're going to do is we are rebranding. This was an idea that was presented to me about a year ago, and it's really taken about a year of soul searching, shall we say, and just coming up with the right thing to do and whatever the right answer was. But we are going to rebrand the show, and we're starting a new show page. We're starting over, and there's reasons for that, and I'm going to use tonight to explain to you why we're doing it. So what we're going to do. 2 years ago, and this is just a little history of the show. 2 years ago, when I wanted to do a podcast, I was given the opportunity by a Christian-based radio station. Now, I pitched the idea of doing a show for divorced people. In order for it to be approved by this radio station, it needed to be a Christian-based show for divorced people. And again, no problems with that. And so the show was named, not by me, that was a name given to the show. And we ran with it, and we found super huge success in that first year. Now, when the first year ended and the radio station and I separated, we went our different ways. Last year around this time, I came back on the air, and I actually did an episode of why we were going to keep the name of the show the same. No matter what incarnation of this show it is, okay, it is still going to be Christian-based. Okay, I'm not sitting here and saying, oh, we're no longer going to have any religion in here. That's not true at all. But what we've done is we're going to try and move away just from it being the big title, because let's be real honest, over the past 2 years, what started as a Christian-based show for divorced people has evolved. It's turned into so much more. Really, Christianity and divorce aren't getting covered every week like they did in the beginning when we started. Okay, we've started talking about marriages. We've talked about the single life. We talked about parenting and dating and world events and things that are happening around us. And so we wanted to really come up with something that was a little more all-encompassing, so that people didn't just see the name of the show let's be real honest, they would see the name of the show. For some people, it would scare them away, thinking, okay, this is only going to be a Christian show, so I'm not going to watch it because maybe I'm not comfortable with it. Maybe it doesn't line up with my beliefs. Maybe I've had bad experiences. Whatever their case is, and they're all legitimate reasons for someone to protect themselves. So what we've wanted to do is rebrand this so that it is more all-encompassing for anyone who may need it. Okay, so that's just a little history of the show. So again, if you've been with the show since the start, you know that I'm not a pastor. That's why I have pastors on the show. They are way better at putting forth the religious aspect of it than I am. And so yeah, that's one of the places I feel like I failed. Like I have failed weekly in presenting it correctly. Like I don't live up to the name of the show. I didn't live up to walking with God. It was more like Kyle is stumbling, falling, and tripping behind God who's walking way up there. And that just every week it would bother me, and it would feel like I just wasn't quite doing justice to the name of the show. So last year when we moved away from the radio station, I'm sure you've noticed that the religion part just kind of went down. Now, whenever our good buddy Joe is on, and Joe is still coming on, I mean, assuming he still wants to, even though I'm changing the name of the show. If Joe still wants to come on, and he will, he's still going to be on every third Tuesday of the month. That doesn't change. And we're going to talk about the topics that are important to a pastor and important to the church and important to the Christian religion and religion in general. So that's not changing. That's not changing at all. And since no longer do we solely talk about religion and Christianity or even divorce, we wanted to move this to something a little more all-encompassing. So with these changes in mind, we have finally decided to rebrand the show and go into something that maybe will bring in more people. I guarantee you that the religion is still going to be in there. It's still going to be a vital part of the show. It's just not going to be the main focus like the name of Walking with God would indicate. So we're going to change that. So I want to give you just a little history of what we're going to name the show and why. Again, that was what we're changing. Now here's what we're going to. So if you know me, you know that after my divorce 9 years ago, I took up running. Okay, I took up, jogging and doing the races and doing 5Ks and 10Ks and half marathons and this, that, and the other. So I saw your comment, Joe Pro Wrestling. Yeah, that's what the new show is going to be about. That'd be fun. But so no, I took up running as a form of divorce stress. Now, there's a movie that I watch religiously before all my big races. Okay, and if you haven't seen this movie, I can't recommend it enough to you. I go and I watch this movie over and over, and I actually just watched it today just to kind of get me pumped up for tonight because I was legitimately nervous about the show tonight. But it's a movie called Run, Fat Boy, Run. I know, it's fitting, right? Totally makes sense. But if you haven't seen it, then you definitely should. It's a movie you should check out. But there's a scene in this movie that I really want to point to. Actually, two scenes. And it's always spoken to me, and I know it's spoken to a lot of the runners. If you ask runners who have seen this movie, it stands out as a very, very important and accurate scene. And it can pertain to so much of our life, which is why we're going in that direction. And yes, I know I haven't given you the name of the show yet. I'm being mysterious. Is it working? So it's a fire. Yeah, see, now the love is coming in for Run, Fat Boy, Run over here on the Facebook page. That's right, because that movie is wonderful. But let me set up the scene for you, okay? So we have the protagonist, the good guy. His name is Dennis. Dennis is speaking with the bad guy, the antagonist. His name is Whit. So Dennis is talking to Whit about how Dennis is going to finish this marathon that he has signed up for. And Dennis is doing this to prove to his ex-fiancée that he can be responsible and that he can, do the things that he says he's going to do and that he's a changed person. And so that's why he's decided he's going to run this marathon. Now, Whit, who's the bad guy, he's a big-time marathon runner, and of course, he doesn't think that Dennis can do it. Okay, so the conversation that they have is when I wrote it down here because I wanted to have the actual quote. So Dennis says to Whit, he says to the bad guy, "You don't think I'll finish this race, do you?" And Whit says, "No, because it's really hard, Dennis. And all jokes aside, there comes a point in every race where you hit what runners call the wall." Okay, you hit the wall. And it could be the 5th mile or it could be the 25th mile. And when you do, you won't be able to move or breathe or think. You're just going to want to give up. And that's exactly what I think you're going to do. So that, of course, is what we call foreshadowing in this business. Because as Dennis is running the marathon later in the movie, they set up another scene where he does hit the wall, but like they show it like it's actually there. There's this brick wall in the middle of the course, and that is what he runs into, and it leads to a wonderful scene that and I'm trying not to spoil the movie, because if you haven't seen it, I really want you to. But as someone who personally has been through the race, you do absolutely hit a wall. And again, for me, it always seems to be around mile 18. I don't know why. That's just when I hit the wall. But you can't breathe, you can't think, and you just want to quit. And so, without spoiling much, dinner, I am hungry. Dennis, in the later half of the race, actually runs into the wall, and it takes a certain commitment and a certain desire for him to actually mentally get through the wall. And it's a wonderful representation that they use in the movie of what runners go through and what we all go through. Because let's be real honest, hitting the wall is not something that just happens to runners. Hitting the wall can happen in a relationship. It can happen in a marriage. It can happen with your kids. It can happen at work. Things can be going great, and you can hit a wall, and all you want to do is quit. And that's what the new name of the show is going to be. It's going to be called Hitting the Wall. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep doing a lot of what we've been doing with Walking with God, but we're going to, again, try and bring in more people who need to hear some of the messages that we've done over the last 2 years. Some of the people who need to hear from a pastor, but might have been too afraid to jump in on what they thought was a solely religion-based podcast. So Hitting the Wall is what we're going to be called. And I've already made a Facebook page for it. Trust me, you can expect an invite probably as soon as this show is over. But that's the direction that we're going to take the show. So yeah, the new podcast is going to be Hitting the Wall. And it doesn't matter if you've been divorced or married. Again, we've all hit this. And so the motivation for the name change, it comes from this movie and how important those two scenes were for me. And I imagine that they will be really important scenes for people who go out and watch it. Again, hopefully you do. And so, yeah, it's one that I've held dear. And one of the reasons it took so long to rebrand the show and to come up with something is I didn't want to just throw something out there. You know, someone had said, well, let's just call it the Kyle Walker Podcast. Who the heck is that? You know, people don't care about who Kyle Walker is if they don't know me. If you're watching now, you know me, and oh, thank you so much. But I wanted something that could actually speak to people. And if you know what Hitting the Wall is, then that is something that can definitely speak to you. And so hopefully it will bring in folks to the show. So yeah, so that's our new name. We're gonna change everything around. You know, we're gonna change the Twitter account. We're gonna change the Instagram account, of course, the Facebook account. The website has already been updated, which is super cool. And then yeah, hopefully you'll give the new page a like. So I'm excited about the change. I hope you guys are too. Yeah. And Joe's glad we didn't just quit. No, you guys can't get rid of me that easy. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on some of the comments now. But yeah, so I'm excited about it. So that is the big announcement for tonight, is that we're changing the name of the show. No longer is it going to be Walking with God with Kyle Walker. If you have any of the WWGKW merchandise, you now have collector's items. Yay! But our awesome promotions company, Clover Hill Promotions, is already working on the website and working on logos and cool stuff that I can definitely place on a hat. So I'm wearing my blank hat because I'm going to have a logo right there, and it's going to look amazing. So we've got that going on. But as always, if you have suggestions, if you have feedback, if you have questions, if you have topics, if you have something that you want us to talk about, by all means, reach out to the show. And again, we're going to be crossing things over for a while. You know, Walking with God's not just going to get deleted tomorrow, but we are going to try and start pointing people in the direction of Hitting the Wall. And that'll be super fun. But I'm always happy to take listener suggestions on what it is that we talk about. And so that was all I had scripted tonight. But there's definitely other stuff that's been going on. You know, it was a long summer, and unfortunately, it wasn't really like the greatest summer when it comes to news. And even right now, this very moment, the Bahamas absolutely got destroyed by Hurricane Dorian. So whatever it is that you choose to do, if you're a thoughts and prayers person, if you are a saddle up and go down and help, whatever you can do. I'm sure the Red Cross will set something up, but please keep the people of the Bahamas in your mind. I saw some of the videos coming out today from that, and wow, that it's scary. That is some scary video that is coming out of the Bahamas, and just the amount of water on that island, which again already surrounded by water, that they are dealing with. So everyone keep them definitely in your thoughts and prayers, in the forefront of your mind. Good juju, happy vibes, whatever it is that you want to do. I leave that to you. Some other stuff that went down over the summer. We had way too many mass shootings. I had a list, and the list kept growing of what happened, or of all the different places that these have happened. And we've done our show on this before, and I'm not going to rehash the whole thing. I certainly have my opinion, and you certainly have yours. What's happening is, though, we're letting these huge political figureheads tell us what we're supposed to think and feel about it. And of course, all that does is just bring out the competitive nature, or the adversarial nature, that's more accurate. Yeah, everyone just kind of remember, we're all on the same team here. And so let's be really careful on how we're treating each other, whether it be, if you're talking in person or if you're online. Heaven forbid we talk to each other on social media, because that always gets out of hand quickly. So let me just be that little happy voice that says, let's not sacrifice friendships over bickering on social media. Fair enough, because I know we all do it. I'm guilty, you're guilty. We all say stupid stuff on social media. And let's see, I'm looking here. Joe says, how can we best support each other when they got their wall? What is the best thing we can do to help out the new show? Oh, how can you help out the new show? Well, I'm so glad somebody asked. Like I said, the Facebook page is now open. It's called Hitting the Wall. I'm sure it's easy to find, but I'm going to start sending out invites. So here's the thing, and I was going to kind of close with this, but we'll hit it here a little past the midway point. I did a lot of soul searching over the summer about this show and about what we were going to do, and it helped lead to the new branding. But honestly, in this kind of a forum, podcasting, entertainment, whatever you want to call it, if you're not growing, you're dying. And Walking with God had gotten very stagnant. Like, we were not getting new likes, we were not getting more views, and certainly not getting more donations. That's for sure. But really, this is going to be kind of the test. If we don't start succeeding, if we don't start seeing some growth with our change and our new deal, then this will eventually come to an end. And I'm certainly not threatening that upon anyone, but I work hard for this. And if there's not going to be the support, if there's not going to be, the happiness payoff for me, which is all it is, it's just a happiness payoff, then I'm going to find other ways to do what I feel called to do. And the same goes for the people who do the website and do the promotion stuff. They do this for all of us free of charge. I did buy them dinner the other day, lunch. I bought them all lunch the other day. But again, that is a gift of their time and of their talents. And if we're not, if we can't grow and if we can't continue on, I don't want to waste their time and I don't want to waste their talent that maybe they could be giving to someone else. So I'm really hoping, I'm hoping, and I personally am praying that maybe this brand change is what we need. This is what will take us to another level. But I told you all before, I can't do that without your help. It absolutely takes your help. If you guys are not sharing the show, if you're not sharing the show page, if you're not going to the website, if you're not watching on YouTube, or you're not listening to the podcast, if our numbers don't go up, then, it's kind of, what are we doing? So really, it's on you guys. All I have to do is try and be entertaining for a half hour. Yay. Which sometimes I'll freely admit I'm better at than others. But if you want to help this show grow, then you got to view, you got to watch, you got to share, you got to like. The Patreon page is still available on the website, so that's super cool. And you have that option. And I told you guys before, I said it when we first set up the Patreon account a year ago. If you do not donate to a church or to a cause or to something close to you, if you feel like, boy, I really should be donating to somewhere, I just don't know what that is, or I don't have that passion that I can throw money at, then I only ask you to consider this. If this show has helped you previously, helps you now, or you feel like it's something you want to support, then please go to the Patreon page and decide on how much you want to support it. That's all I ask. If you're donating somewhere else, if you're giving to your church, you're good. You're good with me. Do your thing. If you're looking for a place for your donation dollar, then I would ask that you aim it here. Now, I did see that 3 views just went off as I started talking about money, so that's super cool. But see, therein lies part of the problem. People are willing to watch for a while, but you don't grow that way. You don't grow with someone watching for 5 minutes and then leaving. It takes a little more. So I'm going to do what I can do, and I hope that you will do what you can do. And if we're all doing our best, then super, we're going to keep going. We're going to move on. I don't want to stop doing this show. Like, seriously, it would take some real lack of anything to get me to just say, we're done with it. I enjoyed it too much. So with this being the first night, and with me like having been racked with nerves all day, we're probably going to end it just a few minutes early. Joe is going to be on September 17th. So that is absolutely going to happen. I'm going to send everyone invites to the new page. I hope that you will consider giving it a like, giving it a share, promote it to your friends. Say, hey, I like this guy. I like this show. This is why I watch it. I invite you to watch it too. Just sharing a page is great, but that personal touch, that's where the money's at. That is what gets people excited. Because if Joe's saying, I like it because of this, they can say, oh, well, I think Joe's a pretty decent guy. I value his opinion, so maybe I'll like it too. I'll give it a try. That same thing goes for Jen and Kent and anyone else I saw popping in here tonight. Kathy, Casey, Jen, Bethany, Kelly, Rachel, the other Jen, a lot of Jens tonight. We're Jen heavy. So anyway, that's Kent said, do you have to like me? No, liking me is not required. You just have to like the show. If you like the show, we're good. So, hey, let's go ahead and simmer this down for tonight. I know, short episode, but I can't tell you guys how nervous I was about this today. Like, I've been stressing about it all day. My little mechanical heart valve that I've got was clicking so loudly before the show started. I actually was getting a headache. How sad is that? That's crazy. So go ahead and look for Hitting the Wall. Hitting the Wall is going to be coming to you Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. Again, we're going to move things over as best as we can, and I hope that you will decide to support us fully in this new venture. As you can tell, I'm taking it so seriously, I have a new mic stand. Huh? Isn't that cool? That's so cool. I can even move it around if I want to, but I don't because it'll probably fall and break, and then I'd look really ridiculous. So, hey, everyone have a great week. We're going to be back next week. We're going to really start diving into the stuff that we're going to talk about. I want your suggestions. I want to know what you want to talk about. If you need Kyle's opinion on something, I'm more than happy to give it. You just got to let me know what. So thank you all for your support. As always, as has been for the last 2 years, I have the best fans in the world. I just want to grow that base. I want to keep all you great fans. I want to grow the base. If you have Walking with God apparel, you're awesome. Continue to wear it around. Hopefully we got some new merch coming soon. You'll know because I'll be the first guy wearing it because self-promotion is awesome. So everyone have a great week. We will see you back here next Tuesday. Again, thank you all so very much. Love you bunches. Bye.